No, that's
Fine,
gross. We're live. Oh, live.
Share.
News.
What is up, everybody? And thank you for stopping again, as always, here at the Wish You Were Beer Show. This is a live beer review show that we do every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Same bad time, same bad channel.
It's a great channel, actually.
We can't get a cease and desist for that, can we?
No,
you can say that. That's not copyrighted.
I don't know.
Yeah, Adam West is dead. We can say whatever we want
Adam
about Batman.
West.
Adam West. Thank everybody, as always, for stopping by. If you're unfamiliar with us, you can find all of our social media down at the bottom of the page there. Our Instagram, our TikTok.
Blowing up.
Huge
on TikTok.
Huge on the talk.
If you want to find out anything else you need to know about the show, you can go to our website, wishyouwerebeershow.com. That has a wonderful catalog of all of our past shows. It has some beer blogs, some other information about us personally that we tried not to put on the internet, but it's hard not to.
I don't remember what we put in there.
Yeah, it's go back and read it.
There's so many nudes.
Super fucking weird.
You gotta really dig through the website, so please make sure to spend a lot of time on the website.
Yes.
Trying to find all of Daniel and Phil's nudes.
Or just go to the bottom and click the merch button. We have a lot of great merch, none of which we're wearing currently. So let that be a moniker of how great our merch is.
There's a chance if you buy one of our shirts, the nude pops up after you purchase it.
It actually is delivered to you with the packaging.
I am slightly comfortable with
this.
It's
like on the receipt.
Tonight we are going to be trying something a little bit different. We should, in theory, be live on Instagram. This is a new thing for StreamYard. So we may be on Instagram. If you're watching on Instagram, please comment and say, sup. Yeah. I was trying to think of something more witty, but sup works.
I don't need to be witty. It's 8 o'clock, so.
I'm for it. As I mentioned before, we do this show every Thursday night. So if you know anybody that drinks beer or likes beer or wants to talk about beer with us, make sure you bring them along, share it with your friends. We would really appreciate that. And it does a lot of good things for us on the show. I mentioned our merch store, which none of us are currently wearing. However, I would like to ask everyone on screen what shirt they are wearing. Phil, what shirt are you wearing? Do you have a Ford Mustang shirt on?
Bronco. Yeah, so we're Ford Bronco.
Okay.
So we're doing a beer from Montana tonight. So I just figured, bust out the Ford Bronco shirt because you know me, big Ford Bronco guy.
I mean, the good news is your shirt's not white, so I think you're fine.
I love that you have a Ford Bronco shirt. Did you buy that recently, or that was just
came with my Ford Bronco that I own? I own a lot of Ford.
So you spent $50,000 and just got that T-shirt?
Yeah, the Ford Broncos back in the States just covered in snow right now, but wearing the shirt.
Damn, that shirt looks good though.
It's got a back on it too, I think.
Does it? Oh my god, it has the OG Bronco too.
I do like it.
You think I did with the new Bronco?
No, that's before the OJ. That's the.
There was no before OJ.
Look, I'm a true Bronkhead, and that's the one that I got.
I'm comfortable with Bronkhead, by the way, for the record. Tiffany, you have a brand new shirt on.
I do. It's Bird Girl Bottle Shop. It is an amazing location out here in Virginia in Hilton Village. They make amazing pizzas. They're not a pizza shop. Correct.
Okay.
They're a bottle shop, but they make delicious pizzas.
Correct.
To abide by Virginia ABC alcohol laws.
Which is bullshit. Yeah.
So Britt has a half sourdough, half fresh dough base, and their pizzas are different. They at least do a pizza every like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah. And they're open at 11 now. They open earlier so you can get them for lunch.
Everyone that opens at 11 is my favorite brewery or place to have a beer because normally they don't open in this area till noon.
Or even later.
So on the weekends, like 10:30 rolls around. I'm like, well, fuck, I guess we're going wherever opens at 11.
I'm not working, so it's time for me to have a beer.
I just noticed that with the cutoff of the screen that I just have a heads down, ass up animal on my.
Yes. That's why when I saw Ford, I was like, I don't know if that's a joke shirt or a real Ford shirt.
Covers It's perfect size.
Perfect size. Perfect size. That
Daniel,
Bronco-
what are you wearing over there?
Yeah, we're
I'm a whore for the industry. If you watch this show with some regularity, I have 1.5 billion hats. I have about 30 t-shirts that I rotate through. Some I like more than others. This is my Virginia Beer Company Mug Club shirt that says cheers to our full-time friends. It's one of my favorite shirts. It's Heather material. It's gorgeous. And this is a random brewery that Tiffany and I found in New Jersey when we were going to visit a friend. And we were about an hour out from our venue.
and had been driving for too long.
And
with children.
You know what? We need a fucking beer.
Yeah.
Punch in breweries near me. And Death of the Fox came up.
And I was like, that sounds great.
And they were amazing.
Super cool.
They were amazing.
I don't even know if they're still around.
They are still around.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Craig just went there recently.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
Sorry.
Good for them. I'm glad.
So yes.
Always.
We've covered, this is very true, VBC, and shout out to Parkway Printing as well, who makes most of VBC shirts. That's right down the street from them.
Yeah.
They make a ton of good material. The shirts are amazing. So if you have the chance to pick up.
And we can't give you those shirts, but if you do more like
But if you wanted to purchase one.
if you sponsor our show or things like that. Where
I can't give you one.
Well, we can have a little more capital and then we can buy nicer shirts.
Also, I am seeing that we are live on Instagram and not one person yet has said sup.
I love it.
Just put it out there.
Well, I thought we had friends.
That's one of our biggest followings. So when you think about the tier of following, when it comes to the world we live in, there's TikTok.
Huge on TikTok.
Instagram.
Yeah.
The artist formerly known as Twitter.
Facebook.
Hold on. Let me raise the YouTube. So between all four of them, we are fucking killing it.
We should find a few more to be on just for that.
I'm okay with it.
Just in case.
Chatterbait. Oh, no, just me.
What?
We don't talk about Craig. Okay, Scott. I didn't realize you and Craig had a falling out, man. It's fine.
Oh, we got 2 sups. We're up. Sup is up.
Sup is up. That is the worst thing to say ever. All right. Let's get back to this goddamn show. I apologize for the merch plug for everyone else other than the Wish You Were Beer Show merch store, which is amazing. And you can find it on the website, wishyouwerebeershow.com. It's at the bottom of the page. It says merch. No, it's talking about the actual web page.
Oh, yeah.
So it's if you go to our web, I know you haven't seen it.
Yeah. Yep.
But we are going to start this show like we do every week with a small segment about something pulled from the headlines of beer that we'd like to call beer news. Oh, we're live.
Welcome to Wish You Were Beer Show. This is our beer news section where we talk about news about beer. Current.
And here with the story is Tiffany. You know exactly what. No.
Okay. I mean, I didn't read it.
I did read it, asshole.
Well, that's a first.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I fucking read shit.
I know. I've seen your bookshelf.
I also had to read about the role of a CISO today, but we don't want to talk about that.
Nobody wants to talk about that.
Nope.
I don't care about delivering babies with seals unnaturally. The old CISO. All right. So at this portion of the show, we're going to talk about, again, something pulled from the beer news world. And I stumbled across a great beer blog this week that isn't ours. It's a beer blog called Beervana.
How did you not found that one?
And the gentleman who runs that beer blog, Jeff Allman, has been in the game for a long time. And he's been doing beer blogs. He has a podcast. He wrote a book called The Beer Bible. He's on his second iteration of it. But the fun part with his beer blog is it really is similar to our show or like our social medias. It's just him going places and then writing about it.
Right.
Like there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's not
with a much smaller audience.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, like he knows like 12 people in the industry.
He's kind of a big deal in the industry.
But I thought this story was really interesting for two reasons. One, because it was a really easy beer that he was talking about. And then two, because there was no true conclusion on
it was frustrating
what the answer was.
Because I was like,
for
well,
it.
now how do I get this?
Correct.
Right.
So he was traveling and he went to a Mexican restaurant and he found a Corona Mega. So if you know anything about Corona, one, the bottle is never dark. It's always a blue and white label. And this beautiful Corona was a dark bottle. It was bigger too. You can't see it in there, but it was almost like a 7, like a wine bottle, basically.
It looked like it was like a large 40.
Yeah. And one of the things he talks about in the story was like, I'm dissecting the label, and the label looks like somebody in the restaurant sort of put it on in the back of the restaurant and brought it to the table.
Right.
It does almost like printed out and
yes,
and then like slapped on. Yeah.
Someone just spit on it, slapped it on. And
well, they put it in the fridge and they took it out so that it was a little bit like wet. And you just
no, but I love the funny part in this story to me is that this is a huge beer guy. He's at a random Mexican restaurant and he's going, "What the hell is this beer? What the fuck is this Corona that I've never seen before?" Right. And he's trying to talk to the owner, and the owner's giving him like kind of the brush off of, well, this is real Mexican Corona. And so he's going through his beer mind throughout the story of, what do you mean real Mexican Corona? Because when InBev bought Modelo Group, basically the government made them split their holdings because you can't have that much of a monopoly. Right. So if you get a Corona in the United States, it's made by a holding Constellation, which is out of Mexico. If you get a Corona in Mexico, it's made by AB InBev from America and shipped there. So at the end of this story, this guy basically just figures out that he actually had an AB InBev Corona from Mexico, and he's not 100% sure if it got to that restaurant legally, because when he traced the holding group that owns that restaurant, it's connected to a person that has a very shady background in politics. Which really explains the label, really explains the owner being like, "Don't worry about it. It's a real Mexican beer."
But yeah, totally. I mean, his description of what this beer was compared to other Coronas is, it sounds like this is delicious.
Yeah, that was like the other like nut of the story is he was like, "Holy shit, like this is a way better Corona."
Right.
But come to find out, it's made by InBev in America. And it's a better Corona. I'm like, well, why don't we just serve this one fucking here and quit this dicking around between country lines?
Are you sure? I thought it was the other way.
No.
But I'm dyslexic, so who knows?
Yeah.
Not to be trusted.
Not to be trusted. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting. And again, if I stumbled across this character and I went through a lot of his backlog and shot some emails back and forth with him. Really interesting person. He teaches with Oregon University about beer economics, like really big beer brain and a sharp guy. And we're going to try to get him on the show at some point. Mark is disgusted by this. What the? No. No, but he still said cheers though. So everything is fine. Everything is fine. And correct. We don't talk about Bruno or Craig.
Not Craig.
Well, Greg or Bruno.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been pretty well documented.
Yeah, you're right.
If you've been watching the show with any regularity here on the second season, then you do know that we are going to be having trivia tonight because you've been watching that scrolling beautiful feature that Phil put together.
Ticker tape.
That's really hard to make, and I give him so much credit for it. He's
the amount of work I put into this.
Fucking hours a week for that to be misspelled on the ticker.
And for those who can't read something while it's scrolling,
I can't. It's scrolling left to right, and I got to read left or it's going too fast. You know, I'm a slow reader.
You got options.
Because we don't have a guest on the show tonight, we are going to be doing some trivia through Kahoot, which is what we use for trivia. So if you go to Kahoot.it, you can put in our game pin, or if you have the Kahoot app, you can also put in the game pin there. I would recommend going there and getting that process started here before we start trivia so that you can think of a really clever team name.
Or just
We've got one in here already. So someone is waiting.
Somebody. Okay, Katie. Slow down.
Yep. It's the number one Kahoot fan.
It's actually not Katie. It's the baby. The baby is a huge Kahoot fan.
Yeah. It was brought back by popular demand.
Correct. Because I'm tired of
Last
hearing
week
from the baby.
Did not have it and cut a little bit of a lashing, and that's fine.
Well,
not the bullfrog just joined.
Not the bullfrog.
Yeah,
that is fun. I'm excited for this beer tonight because it seems right up Phil's alley, but I also think he's going to hate the beer. So I'm really excited for this one. Tonight we are doing a beer from.
Wait, does he have it?
I do not.
Oh yeah, damn it! You're gonna hate this beer. I'm gonna
hate that I don't get to drink it.
You're gonna fucking hate it.
I'll have some of Daniel's and I'll save you one and I'll ship it to you.
I'll send you a full
All right.
glass of it with aluminum foil over top of it. Tonight we were doing a beer from Jeremiah Johnson. They are a brewery out of Montana, and this is a Scotch ale called Mountain Man. If there was a representation of Phil from the early parts of this show, it's almost this picture.
Yeah. If you go
It's
back
pretty fucking close.
to when I used to do this show out of a bathtub.
But no one knew you were in a bathtub, which was what made it so good.
Yeah.
Kahoot
Good
is big in the 0 to 1 years old demographic. It's why we do it on the show.
I mean, it's also big in like elementary schools. I remember
I'm a
my
fan.
kids talking about using Kahoot to like study for tests.
I love it. So we are going to do, well, we used to call it trivia. We used to call it history and facts. We used to call it just answer the fucking question.
So loud. Every time I'm like, oh!
I love
gotta
that.
make sure the baby's awake. You know?
Yeah.
Gotta wake that baby
That
up.
beautiful piece of machinery was made, and for some reason we can't solve the volume mystery. It's either 0 or 1,000. Good luck.
Yeah.
Again, it started as history and facts. Obviously, we're going to be playing trivia tonight. So if you haven't already, again, go to the Kahoot app or Kahoot.it, put in our game pen number. You got literally 30 seconds before I start blasting trivia. Blasting it.
What?
Yeah, I'm putting trivia on blast.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. I heard a kid say it today, and it made me hyped.
Yeah. No cap.
No cap.
And the only the thing about our trivia with Kahoot, and everyone needs to remember, especially because I'm seeing our Instagram feed, and that is about probably 10 to 15 seconds delayed.
Yep.
If you're using the app, the question will pop up earlier than what we're talking about it. So remember that your answer is timed and correct. That's how the scoring is. So have that app up and ready to read the question before we even hit it.
Correct, because you don't have to be right you have to be right all the time, but it also gives you points for being the first one correct.
Yes.
And the winner gets a huge prize.
Yeah.
Huge prize.
Huge.
You get to follow us on TikTok.
It's all those nudes.
You get our private TikTok link, which is just me and Phil drinking shirtless. You don't get this. No, ma'am.
A live feed of us shirtless all the time drinking beer.
Even when you're wearing a shirt, it's just pointed down your
God,
shirt.
I'm excited for this. Correct, Sarah. Huge.
It's gonna be huge.
All right. Well, that being said, let's try to get into Kahoot. Let's see if we remember how this works, because it's been a few weeks. I assume Phil's going to handle it.
Yeah, we've got Hugh Jass. We got Baby, and not the bullfrog in there.
I love that Baby is definitely going to win in some capacity.
You can definitely join midway through as well. So if you haven't joined,
Isn't this our second Kahoot with Hugh Jass?
I don't know.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. I feel like of all people in the room, I would remember a Hugh Jass.
Question 1.
All right. That's not a question. That's Mountain Man. That's a statement. Who is Daniel? All right. True or false? This is the first beer out of Montana that we featured on this show.
Speaking of, whoa, that was quick.
God, that was fast.
Everyone got it correct.
Correct.
But who got it correct the fastest?
Oh, much of a jazz man, she says. Yeah, so that is true.
Could be yes, man.
We've had beers from all over. We've had some beers from other countries, but this is the first beer that we're going to have out of Montana.
Not a lot of Montana breweries following us and sending us beers.
We're going to find out. There's a question later. Thanks for reading the trivia that I sent.
I did read
about
that
how
trivia.
many breweries are in Montana. But thank you for setting that one up. So nice. Scoreboard, baby. I told you.
Dang, those were close.
Hey, don't cheat for baby. Let baby decide for herself or himself. I don't know.
They.
Let they see it just
Let them. It's let them. That's,
God damn
that's
it.
more of a tense issue.
I don't even know English anymore.
Question 2.
All right. How many breweries are in the state of Montana?
Set me up.
36, 45, 68, or 73?
That beautiful train.
Mm-hmm.
That looks nice.
Also, not pictured a brewery. That's a train in mountains. So
You know what? I don't get a lot of choices for those photos in the free version of Kahoot that we
a
use.
lot of stock imaging. All right, so the answer is 68. There are 68 breweries in Montana. So to put that in perspective,
There are 40.
Tiffany and I are in Virginia. There are 355 breweries in the state of Virginia.
Yeah.
And
there's 40 just
51% of them are in Loudoun County up in the Charlottesville area. So 50% of 300, do the math. There's that many of them in one small area in Virginia, much less throughout the entirety of the state. So Montana, not a lot of breweries, which is kind of fun.
Probably a lot of beer drinkers. So it's kind of
that's the funny part to me because
Montana is so big
Yeah,
that like there really isn't that many people there. Like if you look at population,
so if you look at beer, so if you look at breweries per capita,
yeah,
it's a whole different animal. 68 is relevant to 355 based off
That's
the per capita. But I agree with Phil. Everyone in Montana, I guarantee you, drinks beer. It gets below freezing there, which means you drink.
Yeah, you're just sad.
And they gotta have why not have 100 breweries per person? Just go nuts.
They can't afford to have that many. There's not that many people to drink it.
I mean, there's a lot of
68
livestock. You can find the workers.
You know what?
I'm talking about cows.
They're not drinking beer.
No, but they could work.
What?
Question 3.
We watch different science shows.
All right, I haven't started
check out
drinking
the
yet.
score. They all got it wrong, so the score didn't move.
No, Jesus. I'm gonna need a huge ass in a huge way to get it. Okay, all right. Next question. What generally separates a Scotch ale from a Scottish ale? So again, tonight we're having a Scotch ale. Is it the ABV, the malt profile, the grain profile, or they're the same?
Ooh, spread across, but
Oh, you guys are really fucking blowing this. I feel like we talked about what beer we were gonna have last week, and nobody did any research. That's amazing. So yeah, generally speaking, you can change the malt profile, the grain profile. You can do different things with those with any given beer. But the ABV is typically what separates it. So when you think about a Scotch ale versus a Scottish ale is probably what we better know as a wee heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always going to be 6% or above, generally speaking, from the acceptable range. A Scottish ale is a little bit more like a table beer overseas. It's going to be like that 3% to 4% or less, basically. You can make variations of it. You can change the malt profile, grain profile again. But the ABV is historically what separates those
this
two
one's a 6.5
variations.
Yeah,
of beer.
it's just this one's more of the mid-range
Right.
ale, and the other ones are a higher range. So they like a wee heavy. Like we've got them up to like 10.
This is listed as a wee heavy. Technically,
This is
correct. Most Scotch ales are listed as a wee
why
heavy.
did I think we were doing a Scottish ale?
No.
That's fine.
Have we
I'm-
done a
again,
Scottish ale on
dyslexia.
the show?
Dyslexia.
So we
Dyslexia.
announced this beer last week. It's good to know that Bird Girl over here really studying up.
She puts a lot of work into the show, all right?
Yeah. I don't know how many.
Hey, man, I responded to a text message today and offered to email someone. I just want you to know that.
I don't know how many questions that is or how many we have.
That's a
but
pretty big deal.
I'm going to crack this beer open so that we can drink it throughout the rest of the trivia. Again, tonight we are doing Mountain Man Scotch Ale. It's from Jeremiah Johnson. They are out of Montana. And I'm excited for it because I haven't had a Scotch Ale in a while.
Ooh, that thing is
I
dark.
forgot to show everyone the glass. It's a Bird Girl glass.
We can't see it now.
Yeah. It's all right.
It is dark. That's darker than
I'm
I expected it
jealous.
to be. Yeah.
I'm jealous you were drinking that beer.
Sorry, man.
Again, you're going to fucking hate
I'll
it.
describe
I'll
it.
send you
Again.
one.
Montana, why are you not shipping to St. Martin? Doesn't make sense. Everyone here has been like, we need a Scotch ale.
Yeah, everyone on the island's like, you know what the island is missing? Scotch ales.
From Montana, especially.
True story. Cows eat spent grain. Time to move. That's right. Just throw your shit out of the brewery, Marcus, and just let the cows in Montana do work. No more farmers and their pesky scheduling.
Next question.
Next question.
Didn't move.
Oh, everyone got it wrong again. Perfect. Well done, baby. All right. Despite hailing from Montana, Jeremiah Johnson started his brewing production facility in what state? North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, or Idaho? And that is a map.
Idaho.
Well done, Phil.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like that map picture.
I thought it would help for those who can't remember states.
Oh, if you think that's a dumb thing to say, when I made this question, I Googled states that border Montana. Because who the fuck knows? Good. One person got this correct. So their original actual brewing facility before they had a tap house was in Idaho. Their production facility still is in Idaho. And they only recently opened their actual tap room in his home state of Montana. So they finally have a tap room. They were a brewery that started production brewing, right? And that was the goal. So they started a production brewing where basically the financial climate was more favorable because it wasn't there yet in actual Montana. Basically, they wouldn't let him have the property and do what he wanted to do there. So he sought it out in Idaho first from a production standpoint.
Look at Idaho being a step ahead.
Look at Idaho. You think they're just potatoes, man, but they're fucking racking beer.
My
I don't know. I've never had an Idaho beer. I don't think.
4th or 5th grade state project was on Idaho.
That is not
Wow.
where I thought that was going. Okay.
I should know.
It was like you spent 4th and 5th grade in Idaho. This
No.
checks out.
I've been to Idaho multiple times.
Godspeed.
My
Let's
aunt
see
went
who took the lead by getting this one correct.
It's baby.
Oh,
Not the bullfrog.
Just when you thought
Coming in hot.
Just when you thought baby was better than not the bullfrog. Some bullshit like this goes down.
all right. I think we got one more question.
Oh, that's it? I thought I sent you like 4 more. Oh,
Nope.
Jeremiah Johnson is also the name of a 1972 film starring what actor? Robert De Niro, Clint Eastwood, Robert Redford, or Harrison Ford? These are all very popular 70s actors, by the way. Don't.
Which of those 4 actors is your favorite, Daniel and Tiffany?
Out of those 4,
Yeah.
I mean, 100% De Niro.
All right.
Like, director-wise, Clint Eastwood is a machine.
Yep.
Harrison Ford, I like his reactions to David Blaine's Magic, but other than that,
Always good.
I think he's just Harrison Ford most of the time. Robert Redford is a fucking machine. Don't misunderstand me. He's been in some of the greatest films ever made, but this answer is Robert Redford.
I met Clint Eastwood once.
What?
That's
Are
the
you
only thing I
serious?
have to add to that. Yeah.
How did you not come into this relationship with that knowledge?
I did.
I figured you married her because of that information.
Yeah, 100%.
Even Phil knew that.
Jeez.
I can't believe.
Yeah, because it's my 6 degrees from Kevin Bacon. I'm only like 2.
I can't believe coming in this relationship, you didn't tell me you met Clint Eastwood. And now that I know this, how do I meet Clint Eastwood?
Oh, this was at Pebble Beach, like as a passerby.
At Pebble Beach. I think we all grew up very differently. I know I've mentioned this on the show with some regularity. Phil, I assume
I wasn't golfing there. I was just there.
it doesn't matter. I've never seen Pebble Beach other than on TV. Phil, I assume you and your parents were rebuilding historic MGs and yachting while Tiffany was at Pebble Beach. Meanwhile, I'm at fucking McDonald's trying to find some change on the bathroom floor so I can get a McNugget. A McNugget.
Well, I hate to say it, but I met Bill Belichick at Pebble Beach as well.
God, see? Why are you going to dig this hole further? Yeah. Oh.
And Peyton Manning, but I don't normally say that one.
Well, I mean, you didn't even have to meet Peyton Manning. You saw him from afar.
I saw his forehead from
Head
3
and
miles
foreheads
away.
above everyone else.
Yeah, I thought it was a billboard.
Was that really the last question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see who's.
All right.
Let's see who
Cool.
won.
Who
Who
the
got the
prize.
question right? Was it baby?
Mountain Man Podium.
Come on, baby.
Huge ass.
Never comes in third.
Baby.
Ah, baby.
Man.
Boy.
Not the bullfrog.
Not the
Not the
bullfrog.
bullfrog.
If
Killing
not the
it.
bullfrog next week doesn't change their name to just Jeremiah, I'm gonna be really upset from a musical standpoint. Just for the record.
All right.
Of course, baby is sleeping. I saw the scores.
Fell asleep after question 1.
Hey, I got a way that we can wake baby up.
What's that?
So that-
Let's review this beer.
Oh, we can do that. I like that little tail end of that one. That's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a nice touch.
It's crazy you recorded that. That's not even stopped.
You heard
I know.
Daniel singing in the shower, and that's what you recorded, which is amazing.
Nuts. All right. We're gonna review this beer. If you're unfamiliar with the show, we review our beers through Untapped. It's a necessary evil in the brewing world. So again, yeah, I said brewing. I know.
Yeah,
I heard myself say it. You know,
I made a face, and then I immediately stopped making a face. I attempted to stop making a
William
face.
T. Woody, you son of a
Stop
bitch.
Woody.
Cheers. Tonight we are reviewing a beer from Jeremiah Johnson. It's a Scotch ale. They are out of Montana. And we're going to be reviewing it through Untapped. It's every brewer's least favorite app, but it is an easy way for us to check in beer and keep up tabs on what beers we've had and not had. So it's 1 to 5 bottle caps. 1 being the worst thing you've ever had, 5 being the best thing you've ever had. Phil, oh, no.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, okay.
I'll just
How's your
review
NA?
my Headlam NA beer.
Yes. It's a hazy from what I hear.
It's a wild hazy. And it's delicious.
That bitch crazy.
I'll be
She's
honest.
wild.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
So let's get into the real beer tonight.
Oh yeah. We'll do it. Yeah, that's fine.
So Jeremiah Johnson, Mountain Man, Scotch Ale.
Yeah,
You're
you-
up.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
This is surprisingly a really well done Scotch ale, and I say surprisingly only because
Montana. No.
1, 2,
Montana's gorgeous.
I did a lot of research on this brewery, and the Jeremiah Johnson, who it's named after, is the actual owner. That is his real name, and he, unlike everyone else we've ever had on this show who owns a brewery, doesn't have an engineering background and never homebrewed. So he went to college and started doing real estate and like commercial property management and shit like that until he got his money right and then decided, I drink a ton of beer. I'd like to have a brewery. So he sought out the right people, started a brewery, went to a space that didn't have a lot of that available. So I can appreciate that process, but it also made me expect less out of this beer, if that makes sense.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but from a Scotch ale standpoint, really good. I like the color of it from a Scotch ale because it's a little darker than some of the other ones that I'm familiar with. Really good malt profile. Smells good. It's not. Sometimes you get a Scotch ale that's a little overwhelming based off some of the ABVs. Sometimes they get a little weird, boozy, depending on what they did with the malt. I like this one. It's really clean. Tastes great. Doesn't leave a. I also get a little bit of a weird back end taste out of some Scotch ales that sits on the back of your tongue for a long time. I don't get that out of this one. It's thin enough in a good way that when you drink it, it doesn't keep hanging out in the back of your mouth. So no, really solid. It's a 3.75 for me. Great beer. I would drink this beer with some regularity. Scotch ale's not like my go-to style.
Did you just IPA man this?
Yep.
Not my go-to style.
It's not my go-to
Really
style.
well done.
But again,
3.75.
how we rate beers on the show is against other Scotch ales I've had. I think this one's right in that middle range of I could drink this with some regularity. Doesn't knock my socks off. Isn't a shitty beer. It's delicious. It tastes like a beer. It looks like a dark beer. Right in the middle. I could drink this with some regularity. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Before you get into your review, Tiffany, I'm not that familiar with Scotch ales.
Mhm.
Scotch Does it have anything to do with Scotch?
Correct.
It
Nothing.
does.
No.
Nothing.
No, other than it's historically a Scottish beer.
It's a Scottish beer.
Hold on, we have Marcus here. In the
Marcus
chat.
has never even made a beer, as far as we know.
Okay.
Oh no,
I was like, no, that's the go-to.
I think he has.
That's the go-to
please,
person.
yeah, Marcus did research on this beer. Please, let's let
I'm
him
just saying, he
talk
could tell us
Jeremiah
about the
Johnson's
Scott
version of it.
No, you.
So
you
I
tell
guess,
You have
I'm kind of wondering why it's called the Scotch ale, just because.
So the original inception of this beer did come from Scotland. It was based off some of the malt profiles that were historically found in that area and brewed in that area in the 1600s, basically. So Scotch ale got attached to it. Nowadays, the variations on it are all over the place. You can have different variations of the malt profile, like we talked about in the trivia, that the original founders of what we would consider a Scotch ale would scoff at. But nowadays, breweries are breweries. You can make anything, and if it fits in the ABV, the Brewers Association will be like, "Good job."
Well, I mean, there's a few more things you gotta meet.
For this.
So technically, I know a lot of times we have this like Scotch, like where I'm trying to think of one of the other beers where you have to say like it's Scotch style,
right?
Ale. But if all the ingredients are from Scotland, like Barrow's saying here, where it's like,
yeah,
you can then call it a Scotch ale, do you believe? Or is this kind of one of those like no one really know, like it's not official sort of thing?
The only thing that's official in the beer world in the United States is the Brewers Association of what you can and can't call things.
No, so the reason you can't call a lot of things like an Oktoberfest, it's because they're from Germany with the German proprietary beer laws.
Right. Purist,
yeah, whatever. Proprietary is also still a thing.
Never heard of it.
It works. I'm sticking with it. Sticking with whatever I said.
I'm going with Jerk Store.
Yes. Thank you for picking up on my
yeah, I got you.
really roundabout joke. No, but because this isn't from Germany, there probably aren't the laws from Scotland that would say that you need to make it a style.
Scotland's just happy to be mentioned.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. Finally known for something, not the kilt, the golf, or the sheep. Scotland.
Or the cow.
Never heard of them.
The Highland cattle.
Tiffany, what do you think of this beer?
I like it.
I like it.
That was great. All right.
Good review. Next slide.
No, so Daniel said a lot of the same things that I would say, but I will spare everyone. It does have a really good malt profile. It is definitely a dark beer in the sense that it has a really robust malt profile, which I really like. I do enjoy that this one's a 6.5, which means it doesn't have that boozy taste, which most Scotch ales do after about 7 to 7.5. But I think I said earlier, I've had one that's like up to a 10, and those ones are rough.
That's truly heavy.
Yeah, those are very heavy. To get them up to a 4, does that mean I need to do a 4 or 4.25? 4.25 is happy middle.
Jeremiah Johnson's not here.
I mean, give it your score, and then we'll figure it out. But
so 4.25 and a 3.75.
Repeating.
So that's a show score of a 4.
Yep.
Now, I guess my question is, if someone had a beer subscription service,
yes,
would you recommend that they add it to their box?
Yeah. So this is actually a beer, which is fun because
good job, Phil.
Yeah. God damn it, you're a set man. I love that about you. Whether it's volleyball, pickleball, you're a set guy, and I appreciate that. So this is a beer. If you watch the early inception of this show, one of the first subscriptions we had was Beer Drop out of Colorado. And originally they were doing a lot of beers out of Colorado. And obviously now that the pandemic is somewhat settled down, I know it's still a real thing. Pay attention.
Triple-demic.
Wash your fucking hands. It's not rocket science. But now that that's kind of settled down a little bit, Beer Drop out of Colorado realizes like, oh, there's a billion fucking breweries. So they've started to branch out quite a bit further. So this was a beer that we got from Beer Drop. We had several other beers in the box that came with it, but there was actually 2 different Jeremiah Johnson beers. There was this one that we wanted to do on the show, and there's another one in the fridge. I can't remember what it is, but I think it's their hazy IPA. But great subscription. You can check into it once a month, change your beers around, move things around. You can delay it. You can get it shipped.
You could forget to cancel it, which is why we have this one in the first place.
I'm glad we didn't cancel it.
Yeah,
This
me
is
too.
delicious beer.
Me too. It's just, I very specifically remember being like, are we doing beer drop? And then I just forgot. Because it's like, you have 24 hours to edit your
True
cart,
story.
basically.
So that being said, though, if you go down to the About section on the page, you can find all of the beer subscriptions that we have used in the past or use currently.
I think you get a discount code.
You do get a discount code. So if you sign up for Beer Drop, you get a discount code. And I think they just kick us like 3 extra beers. I like beer. So that's a win-win for everyone involved.
True.
I think everyone gets like $5 off.
What?
I assume.
Good deal either way.
They're nice. I like. Sorry.
All right.
I can't help it.
Well, we've got 4 minutes left,
Okay.
and that means
You know what time it is.
we got to do a quick one.
Time
First,
to
we
end
got to
this
watch
show.
a very long intro.
What?
What?
What are we doing?
Wish
Did you
you
not want
were
it?
actually.
Oh,
here.
would you? All right. If you're unfamiliar with the show, the original inception of the name of the show, here we are, doing what we wish was beer versus what it actually is.
Mhm.
Something from your childhood, you had to kill your family dog,
Something
anything
from
like
today, Yesterday.
something from today when you had to kill your family dog. I don't want to talk about
Charlie
my
is still
own-
alive.
No, he's good. He's
on
good.
the
He's over
couch.
there on the couch. I didn't kill Charlie.
Not yet.
Jesus, Sarah, keep your pants on. God.
Tell us in the comments what you wish was beer this week that you've had. Can be anything.
Yes.
Bad, good. Let us know, and we'll bring it into the show if we
For
like it.
Rick, I assume his wish you were beer was that he missed trivia. I
Yeah.
named a trivia team after him, and then we almost won, and he wasn't even
We
there.
were in first place at the final question.
That's all.
And I was like, oh, we've got this category. And
Pickle
then it was
Rick.
something random. And I was
All right.
like,
You have a wish you were beer. I know you load these up every week.
I actually did.
Yeah.
I thought about it multiple
Let's go.
today. So I wish vomited was beer.
Oh my God.
Woke up with a migraine and then vomited
Not
for
what I
a
was
few hours
expecting.
because of it. So that was my morning. I took some basically nausea medicine and now I'm okay. But thank you for asking. And yeah, it'd be great if that was beer instead, because then I would have just been like, yeah, Thursday, crack open a beer, and then like start my
Thursday, I'm
day.
throwing up beer anyway.
So yeah, that's what I wish was beer. Very easy. Gross, sorry, but
Drink, throw it up, drink it again. Throw it
God.
up. It's an endless beer.
Gross. Yeah. Anyway, migraines suck.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a lot of people are gonna feel really terrible for me, especially living up in the Northeast
I
right
wish
now.
St. Martin was beer.
Well, I wish that this rain would be beer because it's just been
okay.
raining here nonstop, and weather's just so miserable here, and everyone should feel bad for me. So yeah, it's been raining like every now and then here, and it's just driving me crazy. But if it was beer, run outside, just lift the head up, throw it
Take a
up,
beautiful shower.
drink it,
Like a baby
lift my
Jake.
head up, put more in, throw it up, drink it again.
Little baby Jake.
Daniel, what do you wish was beer? Or do we have any in the comments? We got none. No one's.
It's okay though. Woody did respond to Tiffany's. That was called her 20s.
Listen, this was
Throw up, drink it again, throw up.
not a drinking mishap. This was a failure to
God.
Launch. Great
Yeah.
movie.
I gotta love McConaughey. Fuck you, number one. You put McConaughey and Kate Hudson in the same film, you know what you get? Cinematic beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
Oscar.
explain it to you.
They got
The
snubbed.
stars align. Imagine
Snubbed.
Interstellar, but with Kate Hudson.
It's on our failure to launch podcast, though. We'll get more into that.
We never started it.
it failed to launch.
We failed to launch it.
Aptly named.
honestly, for me, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I wish vomiting were beer.
I mean, I have another one if you want it.
God. Now, Tiffany hit me with a wild one right on during the intro to that. I was like panicking because I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot all about this. So this is not my own thought. If you have any concerns about it or you want to write HR about it, please reach out to Tiffany's email directly, not to me. But I wish supplies to Gaza were beer. Because
regular
beer is really easy to find. You can get it anywhere. It shouldn't be rocket science. Not a rocket joke. I apologize. That's off color. That's my fault because this isn't my own wish you were beer, and I didn't have time to think it out.
Yeah,
but really not difficult. If supplies to Gaza were beer, everybody would be doing way better, and I guarantee people would be pissed off because they'd be drinking beer.
Look,
until they drank too much beer, and then they'd be really pissed off.
Pickle Rick.
All right. Pickle Rick.
You know what? Speaking of Pickle Rick, we got another show next week.
Oh, Pickle Rick.
Look at this.
Jesus Christ. You showed up at just the right time. Next week, we are going to be doing a dill pickle sour beer made with sucker punch pickle brine from Destil Brewing out of Illinois. This is going to be a wild one.
Yeah. We should reach out to Dave over at Beer in Front.
Yes!
See if he's had this one. I think he may have even reviewed it, I feel like.
I think he did, actually, because I think I recognized that can art. And I thought the same thing. As soon as I saw, like, oh, Destil's out of Illinois, I was like, fucking Dave. Dave,
Yeah.
son of a bitch.
We should see if Dave can give us some insight on this one.
Yeah,
I'll
maybe.
film my review.
So I'll reach out to Destil and see if they can be on the show. If they can't, I'll reach out to Dave to see if he can be on the show to just talk about Illinois pickles.
Not the beer, just pickles.
Not the beer. No, just their pickle game is getting out of hand, man. The carnivals, you name it, they pickle it.
I will film my review because I will not be here next week.
Oh, it's an all dude pickle show.
It is.
I got some theories, Phil. You wait till you wait till you see what I'm wearing for that show.
I
forgot. I'll film my review though.
Yeah, that's fair.
I do have a great sweatshirt that I can wear for it.
It's true. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
That's the show. We're back next week.
You gonna take us out?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for watching the show tonight. We are back next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, just like we are every Thursday. You can now find us on Instagram Live, and our viewership is through the roof over there, let me tell you. So you can be there. You can watch us there. You can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on Facebook or even on X. We're on OnlyFans. We're on the TikTok. Oh, no. We're not live on TikTok, but we are over there. We're huge on it.
Yeah. Huge.
Check out wishyouwerebeershow.com. Get us some merch. Support the show. That's the best way to do it. But really, just be here every week. We have a blast with everyone. And I think that's everything.
That's it.
Nailed it.
Jeremiah Johnson.
Cheers.
Out.
Cheers.
What a
I just love that I didn't have a wish you were a beer and you gave me the Gaza strip.
I mean,
like I got a good one.
I mean, it wasn't a bad one. You were panicking, so I panicked.
I can make one rocket.
I just listened to a podcast. I'm sorry. That's what I was doing with dinner. Podcast scoop.